Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wealthy Sailor, and this is the Monday News Show. Now, we don't make one of these every Monday, but whenever there's stuff going on in the market, I try to make it just because I feel like there's things you guys should know. Okay, so first, I just want to give you some quick updates on stuff. One, I'm trying to keep you up to date on things that have been going on with me, so Dogecoin's always important to that. I have 113,000 coins, um, and the grand total is worth almost nothing. But I do want to let you know that after the TikTok thing happened and it all spiked, I pretty much had double my worth. Now it's starting to level out again, and it's been a slow descent this week. And now, last I checked, it was 0.0027. Now anybody who has Dogecoin, it's like, okay, that sucks, but it's not unexpected. Like, we all knew that the TikTok thing wasn't going to carry the coin to the moon, or at least that's what we've been saying on this channel. Simply because it costs only 5 cents to produce a coin, which means that it's not going to exceed that. So we kind of knew it was an artificial spike. Now, what I'm hoping, though, is that sparked enough popularity that it kind of has a slow, very safe trend upwards. Now, for anybody who followed my Apple acquisition, I say acquisition like I bought the whole company, which I wish, but no, I bought like 20 or 30 shares. Well, 20 or 30 after the split. So again, as we discussed on the last news episode, the thing is that we knew the stock was going to go down. So it's down about 6% right now. But we knew that was going to happen, so it's not time to panic. Now, with Apple, I'm not talking about whatever you guys want to do. I'm just telling you what my personal plan is. I'm thinking it's going to be up north of about 150 by Christmas time. So that's what I'm trying to sell it at, somewhere between 135 and 150. So whenever it hits that, I'm going to sell. The good thing is that it's Apple. So let's say I'm wrong. Let's say it's stagnant for the rest of the year. It's still Apple stock. So I mean, like, I'm still going to make money, or at the very least, I'm not going to lose any money on it. So it was a very safe bet for me to make. Now, for actual news things that's going on this week, one, the payroll tax deferment. So, for those of you who don't know, President Trump signed an executive order for payroll tax deferment. It's optional for you to opt in if you make less than $104,000 a year, or $8,000 a month, or $4,000 a pay period. Now, this matters. I feel like this matters mostly to my military viewers because it affects you guys. Military viewers, it is not optional to you. You are automatically enrolled in this, which means you will see a 6.2% increase in your paychecks all through September, October, November, and December. 6.2% isn't that much. I mean, for some of you, it might be a good amount, so I don't want to minimize how much it may or may not be. Now, this does not apply to anybody who makes over $104,000 pay, which means not including allowances. So I ran through some spreadsheets to try to figure out like who it is. I think I found like an '07 might make it, but pretty much all the enlisted ranks, you don't make that much if you're counting just base pay and other incentive pays, unless you're maybe special operations do. I'm not really sure. But anyway, for the vast majority of military members, this doesn't affect you. You will automatically be opted into it. You can't opt out. So for the vast majority of you, the enlisted and the lower ranking officers, it's important to note that you have to pay this back. So the way it works is you still have to pay Social Security, you still have to pay FICA, you still have to pay state. What you don't have to pay is payroll tax. Now, it's 6.2%. So come January, you're going to have to pay twice as much of that particular tax. So although you're saving 6.2% now, you're going to have to pay an extra 6.2% later. Now, there is some talk in Congress of making it like a forgiveness thing for military members. But the thing is that the way Congress is, I don't know, man. I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't put my money into it. And because of that, I honestly don't see the reason for this at all. Like, I try to think objectively about things regardless of personal politics involved. And with this one, I was like, okay, so why is this a thing? And honestly, I don't know. I mean, it seems like they're trying to get money to people for the holidays, which isn't the worst thing to do, but we still have to pay it back. So the only thing I can think of is take that extra money, put it in your savings account. I wouldn't even invest it because it's not long enough that if you lose it, you'll be able to recover it. Like some people are like, oh, well, just put it into a high interest savings account. It's like, okay, yes, put it into a savings account. But I would not put it into the stock market directly, because like if whatever you put it into goes down, that money might be frozen until that stock or that contract you bought goes back up. So it's a little risky. So I suggest just your savings account. If you have like a high yield savings account, like the ones with Ally or whatever bank you prefer, then that's fine. You might get like 0.5% over the 4 months. I don't know. But anyway, save the money because it's going to come out of your check automatically January, February, March, and April. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now for like the main story of this little news report. I want to talk about Softbank. Softbank, the ticker symbol is SFTBY. And as of the making of this video, which is Friday, even though this comes out on Monday, it's trading at $26. That's down for 10% down from the beginning of the week when it was trading at $31. Now, why does this matter? What's it mean? How does it apply to you? That's the really cool thing about this story. And I was actually really excited when this happened because it's just super interesting. Softbank is the largest bank in Japan. When I was actually in Japan for the 2 summers, we went to Softbank all the time for ATM withdrawals. So they're like the Bank of America or the Wells Fargo. Like all the ATMs belong to Softbank. In addition to that, they are the second largest company in Japan, seconded by Toyota. So just give you an idea of how big this bank is. And how big it is kind of important because I'll come back in a second to that. Okay, so some history on Softbank. Softbank was one of the early investors in Yahoo, and they made a ton of money off that. And they're also one of the early investors of Alibaba, which is I've never actually used it before, but it's an online shopping platform. I was told it was like Wish, which is why I don't use it, because I'm really not happy with Wish. But if anybody's used it and you have good reviews of it, I would love to know. So it's known for making some really good investments. It also invested in WeWork, which was not a great investment for them. They had the same CEO through all these times, so I don't see the CEO going anywhere. Now, you might be asking, why would the CEO go anywhere? Well, let me tell you this. So, I don't know if you guys remember when I made the video saying that I didn't invest in Tesla because I felt like their climb was too fast, and it didn't really make sense to me considering that they just recently, like a year and a half ago, reported making a profit. Like, I felt like there was too much hype, too much psychology behind the increase, and not enough like actual numbers to back it up. It actually reminded me of Enron. Not that I'm saying Tesla is illegal or doing anything like that. It just reminded me of people investing in it because it's going up, and then that causes it to go up more, which causes more people to invest, and you have this perpetual motion. So what Softbank did, and how Softbank's involved in Tesla, is that Softbank was very particular about investing in the technology industry. So what they start doing, which is genius, and I'm not pretending to understand every single aspect of this, but I have been getting into option trading more and more, like the learning about it, because one of the guys I'm deployed with, he's really into it. So he's been sharing a lot of stuff with me, and I've been trying to learn a little bit about it so I can explain more to you guys on whether I thought it was a good investment or not. On that, I'm still not sure. I'm still doing study on it to see if that's actually a good investment and what your probability of success is. So for those of you who don't know what option trading is you making a bet with an organization about a stock. You're not actually involved in the stock unless you let the entire contract ride out. You're basically making an agreement that you will buy something at a set price when a certain amount of time expires. But most people just cancel the contract early for the short-term gain. There's a lot of different options. There's a lot of different methods and strategies to it. This is just what sums it up. This is important because of what I have to tell you next. Softbank and Tesla. So what Softbank started doing was when you buy a contract on a company, the contract is much cheaper than buying an actual share of the company. So for example, let's say the share of a company is $1,700. You might be able to get the contract for $100, right? But somebody still has to back that contract with a share. This is important because what Softbank would do is they'd call all the other option trading platforms and banks that they're partnered with and say, we want to do option trading on Tesla. So then they would buy a bunch of contracts with these companies. Now those companies have to have the shares to back up that contract. So then what they do is they then force Like let's say Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is actually not involved in this story. It's just the only bank I could think of. In fact, that might get me in trouble. So let's say Bank A, Bank B, Bank C. So Bank A, B, and C all then have to buy these mass amount of shares in order to hold them in retainer to match the contracts. So in essence, Softbank is forcing other people to buy these shares, and they're paying maybe 1/10 of the price, which means that they can essentially buy 10 times the amount of shares to raise the price. Now, not only do they make money off this because them causing the price to go up causes other people in funds to be like, oh, the price is going up, we're going to buy into it, which causes it to go up even more. Now, they also buy shares of the stock because they know they're about to do all these options, forcing all the other people to buy it. So once it hits its peak and they know that their contracts are about to expire, they sell the regular holdings they have and the options that they have. So they make a little bit off the options, but they make mostly off inflating the price, causing it to go up. And they were doing this for apparently a very long time. Now, strictly speaking, I don't think what they were doing is illegal, based on what I've been able to find on the internet. And I'm not an expert, I'm not a securities lawyer, so I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to be illegal. I feel like it's no different than when a social media influencer pushes Dogecoin, which, by the way, don't buy Dogecoin expecting to go get rich. If you have it, I would hold on to it if you don't need the money for anything, but literally just about anything else is a better investment than Dogecoin. But I don't see it being much different. I think that they were using the system in order to buy more shares. Now, where I do think comes into play is the other banks shouldn't have supported this. The banks who they bought the shares from and who were forced to buy the shares to raise it up. I mean, they had to have realized that Softbank was buying such a mass quantity that it would actually artificially inflate the price. So fast forward now, this story broke, and Softbank went down by 10%, which isn't a lot. And I admit it's not a lot. Tesla's also gone down, which I think also affected other tech sector things, because like Facebook's down and Twitter's down, Apple's down. Now Apple is also being affected by the split. Going back to Tesla, they're also still being affected by the split. And on top of that, the other thing is that Tesla was requested to be put on the S&P 500 and they were refused. So that affects Tesla. So these three things are really causing Tesla to go down. The reason I'm not talking about me getting involved in Tesla is because I still don't know enough about the company to do it. The thing is that it looks appealing to me, but right now all the money I have for personal, because I only have like maybe total in my Robinhood right now, a couple $1,000s, so I'm spread thin as it is. And because I didn't really do research as an investor, I don't necessarily think anybody else should. And because I didn't do any research as an investor and I don't have the money for it, I didn't look deeply into it. Even if I did, I'm not a financial advisor, so I would never tell anybody else what they should or should not do with their money. Personally, I don't think you should listen to anybody on YouTube about where you should invest. Plus, if you did, then it gave, like, morally, it's mucky for me, because then if I tell you to invest in something and I've already invested in it, I could actually artificially inflate the price. I could sell while you're still buying, and I could make money off it, just off you, like a pump and dump scheme, and I don't like that. This brings me to my final point about Softbank. I bought a bunch of shares of Softbank. I actually put $3,000 into it. The reason being is because if you watch any of my other videos, you know I'm really fond of troubled assets. And Softbank, I think, is definitely a troubled asset. It dropped 10% in a week. I would have liked to have it dropped more, but my prediction is within 2 or 3 months, it's going to be back up, which means that I can take my money out, pay taxes on it, and I make 10% profit in, I'm thinking 3 months. I think I'm going to liquidate that at about the same time I do Apple. That's my thought right now, but if it comes up early, I'm definitely getting rid of it early, because I don't really have an interest in keeping it because it doesn't pay any dividends. Well, anyway, guys, that's my opinion about the news for the week. I hope you guys learned something. Let me know how you feel about the news videos compared to like the other like educational videos and stuff like that, and I'll adjust my, how I make them and stuff in the future. I honestly think it might be better to make news videos on Friday where I can summarize what happened in that week. But the thing is, the reason I put them out on Monday is because I feel like on Monday, you guys can take the information and still do stuff with it. Like, it can spur you to do some research and see if you want to invest in something also. But anyway, let me know what you think. Don't forget to give me a like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and keep saving.